Hey, what's up, fam?
What's up, fam?
All right, just keeping it real with Charles and
Melendia.
Yep, we here. Okay,
Welcome to Thursday's Dose.
Thursday's dose.
So glad you are here with us today. And today we're going to talk about some things that we all deal with.
And when we say we all, we're talking. That race is no barrier here. We all go through things regardless of race, gender, all of that stuff. So what are we talking about?
Broken relationships.
Broken relationships.
Yes.
You may have witnessed it, or you may be the one causing the break. But we want to talk today and share some ideas that we can get some solutions to some of these generational issues that continue on and on. And we want to stop the curses that's happening.
Right. So when we talk about relationships that are broken, I can say that personally has affected me. I feel that we do have broken relationships within my personal family, my distant family, and we need to fix it. We have broken relationships with friends, and we need to fix it. Or do the best you can.
Sure. And I concur, with you on that, because again, even in my own family, definitely we do have breaches there, broken relationships, between, like siblings that goes, and even with fathers with their children and mothers with their children. So that's one of those issues we deal with. And I'm sure most families do. And that's the thing we want to say again. We want to bring some solutions today. So
You'll get the problem
Yes.
of how broken relationships happen. And the culprit of all of it is miscommunication. It starts off with that because people are not hearing each other.
Sure.
And they only want to be heard. And they're not listening to the other person.
Well, and even with that, sometimes the opposite, the communication's clear, but it's negative communication is happening. Because if somebody say, hey, look, I don't give a flying flip about you, that's not miscommunication. I heard what you said. So it's not just miscommunication, but also, again, negative communication. What's the third? There's sometimes no communication. Yeah.
And the type of communication, too.
Sure.
So, harsh communication has a factor.
So that's negative.
Right.
Right.
So, sarcastic communication,
You could kind of call me out one. I'm trying to tell you. You tell me on the spot.
Say ouch. Anyway,
Hey,
I'm just saying we're guilty.
Nah.
We both are guilty
I'm
of things like that.
I'm definitely guilty of sarcasm, and I don't know, but I'll say that.
I wasn't trying to point her out, but you said it. But I'm just saying how sometimes it doesn't set good in when there's already friction in a relationship.
Sure. Is there friction in our relationship?
Not while we're going here right
You
now.
want to say something to me right now?
Anyway,
Okay, yeah. So go ahead. Uh-huh.
Well, then, so clarifying that what the different types of communications are all some discommunication, right? So miscommunication meaning there's a disconnect in a communication.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's one reason why relationships break.
Yeah, and the thing too is that a lot of times I guess people may not be trustworthy, in relationships. Made broken promises at times, or certain things that we say things and they don't pan out, or we just flat out lie, And I'm sure you may have relatives or friends or people in your life that just don't tell the truth. So that's part of that too.
Yeah, I see a lot too in whether there's co-parenting situations.
Sure.
And
Right.
Whether it's the mother or the father, the child, as they grow up, they will see trust issues tend to diminish because there have been some broken promises.
And that's the area that we talk about. We call it more or less unmet expectations. So,
Yeah.
you can And we say this, if you're a parent, please be careful of the things you put out there, because again, you can break your child's spirit if you put things out, give them hopes, things they're excited about, and then you don't think twice about it, and you go ahead and do your selfish thing or things and you forget about the promises you make to your child.
Yeah.
And then there again, a broken spirit and unmet expectations.
Yeah. And that's so crucial for our children as they grow up, because they need that connection. But I'm going to tell you, as they get older, they will see how you had unmet their expectations and how you have broken their trust. So, and what hurts it even more is when you, as a parent, start building in this pride and ego. You know, you feel like I'm the adult, or I can do this. I don't need my child to tell me, even if they say it respectfully. But sometimes you can get boastful and have that pride and that ego that messes up the relationships.
Right. Yeah, pride and ego, definitely. And you know, one of the other areas is like when it concerns, you know, family, sometimes or relationships, we have outside people stepping in, causing friction and causing things to go awry. Some people are anointed to mess up stuff, just period. Some people
disappoint.
Right, they'll throw a monkey wrench in whatever's going on smoothly, and they'll just toss it like, whose life can I mess up today? Whoop, and there it is. The whole thing crumbles because of their negative vibration in life. So the thing about it, you got to be careful about outside influences, because a lot of times when we have issues, it may be because someone on the outside says something or interfered with that.
So the 5 problems that we just said is miscommunication.
And we broke it down to say, in that whole term of communication, negative communication, and we also said either no communication.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
And then there's trust issues, unmet expectations,
Okay.
Pride and ego, and outside influences.
Yes.
So these are, I'm sure there are many others, but right now we're going home on to those in particular.
So let's. Yesterday I had a couple of conversations with a couple of brothers, and for some reason the thing came out about past experiences, you know, with people, and sometimes that past experience could come in, and it could create issues for a current relationship. So, in other words, we carry baggage, the weight that we carry from the past, things, whether you've been neglected as a child, abuse, you know, you've been disowned, you know, just certain things, mistreated, just so much of that, and you carry into new relationships without getting those issues resolved. Then you're talking about brokenness now you bring into a relationship.
Yeah, right. Emotional baggage is pretty traumatizing for any relationship to blossom. And, you know, in addition, you got your spiritual weight. You know, we had personally ourselves, we went through some brokenness in the church atmosphere, and there was some spiritual weight. When I say spiritual weight, it wasn't have anything to do with the God we serve, with the connections and where we were, and the weight that was more of a burden, that affected us and broke our relationships.
And you know, and with that, I think we've learned over the years with some of that. Matter of fact, you know, a few of the brothers that we still, you know, maintain contact with, and matter of fact, one brother I talked to yesterday, you know, we're still close to this day. And we talk about some of we'll discuss some of that too, like some of the things we've gone through over the years. And hopefully, sometimes you may be zealous in the matter. You want to please God, and you may not have the experience in your zealousness. You may be young, and you may be, you know, I want to please God, and you may kind of run too fast at that. And I think that was some of the cases with some of these brothers, you know, as well. And like we mentioned, the emotional baggage that we carry can affect a relationship, period. And not just a relationship, but relationships.
Right, period. Yeah. So there's also physical effects. How you feel that brokenness could affect physical effects?
Well, some of the physical effects is when people leash out. You know, a lot of times we may not understand why they're leashing out. And I know you mentioned at the start that you had some brokenness in your life, and I'll say, and I don't know whether you said exactly what it was, but I know, if you don't mind. Okay, it was your father. The distance there, the disconnect there. That went on for years. We watched that, and I see it. How do these things come out? The physical effects. I've seen you leash out a little bit, you know, over the years back then, and at times I may say something to you in a way, and you would say, "Hey, you're not my father."
Right.
And I had gone, and I confessed this yesterday to the brother I was talking to. I said, "Man, I got so where I said, how do you know what a father is?" And he said, "Rose, whoa," like that cut. And I said, "Brother, I know I did that. And I do apologize for that. And even then, because I know people that are broken or have ways that they're coming out physically about some of the things that we're doing, you have to be careful with each other. Because again, you didn't ask for what you dealt with. And I saw it kind of come back. And sometimes these things do get in relationships, but you got, Lord, give me the wisdom to respond in a positive manner. Go ahead. And I'm still working. I'm still a work in progress for sure.
I think I know we both are.
Yeah.
We both are. And,
I love you.
I love you too.
But
sometimes they'll be like, what
love. Yeah, love got everything to do with it. Always. Forget the movie and all that stuff. Love has always got something to do with it. So your motives ought to be in love. I was like, what's love got to do? Love got everything to do with it. Start repeat that crazy saying. Yeah.
Anyway.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I digress.
My chance.
So the last thing I can say, how all of this brokenness affects and that we carry, like you said, with others, in the community.
Right.
You know, our connection may sometimes become like hermits and hibernate in certain areas by standing off or standing away from community relations or community, you know, which also entails like families splitting up. You know, yes, I was a daughter of divorced parents, and you know, regardless of what anybody say, when you have two parents that were together, and if a child sees that growing up, and then they witness the split, it's a brokenness there.
Sure, absolutely. That's very tough. Yeah, on children. Yeah,
and personally, especially when you see how one dishes out hatefulness toward the other, and I grew up with that. I grew up with that. So you know, of course, my leniency was toward the one that took care of me.
Yeah,
that's what's my mother.
Right, and then that would. So, but let me say something in that though, is that one of the things that is this in a relationship, or whether we're talking partnership or marriage, if that's the case for one of the partners or spouses, then it could possibly affect the other one to a degree of increasing their desire for having that. If one person's family is together and they, you know, I mean, like spend time or show lovingness, you know, and they're there for each other, and the one that did not get that, it makes them feel like, to a degree, oh my goodness, I never had this. And it might cause issues in the relationship. Hopefully they could blend in with that. But I think the missing piece of that person's life from not having that, I think that emptiness may be a challenge still, you know, still can be.
I don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when the brokenness that we talk about that affects us of the weight that we carry, one is the emotional baggage.
Okay. Right.
The spiritual weight.
and you mentioned, you said the brokenness, right? Okay, and then we're talking, you see spiritual, right? Remember I said about the physical, because it can come out in several ways, leashing out. I mean, it can get physical as well, with that. So there are different ways, and even cause depression for some. So there are different things. And you mentioned too about community, family splits. And I know, again, we all probably have dealt with that issue. And I know that's a prevailing issue that I've seen in my family. It's towards, really like no communication or whatever. And so the thing about it, well,
It's okay, but we
give it to me, girl.
we have a resolution and reconciliation. So
We had to do that, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so with this, we're going to talk about how do you come to a point of resolution and reconciliation. How do you come to that point? Those are two different points. They're not the same. Resolution and reconciliation is two different things. And the same brother I mentioned a while back, and we talked about some things here too. So what does resolution mean? I mean, we've resolved, that's where the word comes from. We resolved the issue. We're good. Hey, like, we good, and so we resolved that issue. We got peace with one another.
Right.
So we got that.
Right. Part of that resolution is having a peace, and if you can get there. Yeah. Yeah. Another one is forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about forgiveness.
It's
Go ahead.
very challenging. It can be very challenging for me. Forgiveness was hard. Like I'm downright transparent right now. It's very hard. Knowing what I seen as growing up with my mom, watching my mom as a single parent, not even realizing the struggle that she was going through.
Sure.
With me and my sister. But she kept it at bay, man. I mean, because she was holding it down. But as I got older, things really took a ugly turn, and I saw things from my fraternal father that I didn't like. I didn't have the peace. I didn't have the forgiveness. But God allowed that time to resonate in me during a very difficult time for him. So once I was able to have that peace, I was able to gain that forgiveness.
Sure. It's funny we talk about this because I witnessed, which I really didn't know, like with my own father. And if you caught the little snippet that we did when we talked about hand-packed men, my father and I spent time, we talked. But I learned that my father was also in a situation where his father left when he was, 6 years old, somewhere in the neighborhood. And my father grew up with a resentment of that because his father ended up going out and he raised another family. But my dad being the oldest child, the oldest boy, and, with his couple sisters, and it put a strain on him where he had to work hard, like in the field, sharecrop, and he grew up with that animosity behind that. And I never realized the depth of that until my dad was in his 60s or 70s. My dad now is 95 years old. And when I noticed that, I mentioned to him, Dad, you gotta, forgive. Have you forgiven your father? And that's one of the conversations we had there. And I know it was hurtful. I could see the pain. My dad, he didn't want to talk to me about it. But I made connection with his father, my grandfather. And though he wasn't cognitive, couldn't have a conversation, he could only at the time say, yeah, just that. But yet, bringing my father and his father together gave my dad that release he needed, and the forgiveness caused him to help him to move forward. And shortly after that, his father passed a few months after. And we never spoke about it. We never spoke about it for years. And then Dad expressed that to me. He said, you brought me and my father together. And I really appreciate that. And I thank God that I was there when you got your release with your father. I was there when my father got released with his, and I'm just hoping and praying that other family members, that are close, that we don't continue to repeat the same negatives that's going on. Some of us now, we have children that we are not claiming, we're not standing for. And I'm saying to this, it may make you upset, the things that I'm saying, but I don't care about that. Right now, what I care about is giving resolution here, because you got it in your power to resolve the issues. And because of your stubbornness and because of your pride and your ego, you won't do it. Now, so you go ahead and take that if you want to. But I'm saying these are things. This is not about me. I've been accused of, you trying to get involved with things. Guess what? I'm trying to get involved because I want to see resolution. Yes. It's time out, and let's break these generational curses. Yeah. Fathers that walked away from your children, I'm commanding you right now in the name of the Lord that you do right by your child. Yeah. Now, period. That's just it. Now, you say, who he talking to Kirk Franklin little self? No, I don't care nothing about that either. Okay? I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Why am I saying I'm sorry? Oh, Lord. But I'm trying to tell you here is that there is too much brokenness, and especially in the Black community. Yeah. We deal with so much more of this, and it's time out. Even mothers in the family that are turning away from their children. Mothers, I command you in the name of the Lord, Yeshua, right now, Jesus Yeshua, that you get in line and do things the way God wants you to, according to his word, because even animals do better than what some of us are doing.
Yeah. So with that's what we talk about, moving forward.
Gotcha.
Move forward from the state that caused you the brokenness.
Yes.
Let's cause the brokenness. We have to work toward the resolution.
Yes.
But granted, there's some things, even we don't particularly like some things that maybe our kids are doing, or somebody in your family, we don't necessarily agree with what they do. But you've got to be able to communicate and stop working toward this brokenness in the family, because all it becomes is hidden illnesses, things that they eventually will deal with, because it'll come back up. So we have to work with a resolution, and until we get to that part, we will always have disconnection with each other and families. So, from the peace that we need to the forgiveness that we need to work on, from there, you have to move forward.
Sure.
You really have to move forward to a resolution of how you're going to work.
And you got to understand something too in resolution. Resolution does not equal reconciliation. So understand that, because we resolve an issue, or I forgive you, and if you abuse me and hurt me up, that don't mean I have to take you back or be in my life like that. So all the time, resolution is not reconciliation. Right. It may be we resolve that we got peace for a minute, here, that while we're here, we got peace here. I forgive you. And then guess what? I'm moving away. Yeah. It may be that we may not come together again. So now my point is that don't continue to have unresolved issues.
Yeah.
The reconciliation again. Go ahead.
You don't make me think about when we were dealing with a certain particular situation within the church, and we decided to move forward, to move on. But then we were told, well, then you didn't forgive. So that doesn't necessarily mean, that we didn't forgive. We forgave. We forgave, but we forgave and we moved on. If you can do that. So what I'm hearing is it's not always a reunion that we got to put back.
Exactly. Right. So,
but it could even be a greater reward when you do move on. Because hopefully at that time you grow, you learn, you begin to build more of a peace within yourself, and you don't have to deal with that burden of being disconnected anymore.
Now, one thing I'll say in your situation with your father is that after the forgiveness, that there was reconciliation. Right. And we actually, even through the brokenness and all of that, we had, contact, we would go see him at times. So we had somewhat of that. But even after that thing happened. Even I'll tell you, his words were what?
Forgive me for one.
And after the forgiveness, we
Now
said,
I
"Hey,
can-
forgive us as
and
well."
now
I can go in peace.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I can go in
Now
peace.
let's not get it twisted. Now I didn't forget. You have to
yeah,
forget,
right. Mhm,
but I won't.
yeah.
I no longer dwell on that.
Oh, absolutely.
So I moved past it, and that
And-
was a resolution
Okay,
for me.
and that's the thing. So, okay, not always a reunion.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 5 steps here that we want to get.
Yeah.
We're going to share with you 5 steps
Steps
to
resolution.
resolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
One, own it. Own your part.
Acknowledge where you are. You know, the thing, acknowledge. Because again, if you messing up, you're not treating whether your children, your mama, your daddy, them, if you're not treating them people right, first of all, first thing to do is acknowledge that. Okay? You're not treating your wife right, your children, these people in your life and in your sphere, you're not treating them right. First thing to do is acknowledge.
Right.
Own it.
Put
Own
that
it.
Pride
Yes.
and ego
Mhm.
down.
The next thing,
Reach out.
get some clarity.
Reach out and clarity.
Right. So let me understand the situation.
Mhm.
Be patient enough to say, okay, where are we?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and next, gotta listen. They always say you got
2 ears.
ears and one mouth,
Mm-hmm.
without judging and defending whatever you feel like you're gonna stand on. Melendia,
Charles. All
we
right.
have to listen before defending.
Yeah.
Just listen. So even if you got you burning up inside, you gotta say something. Just listen. And most of the time, sometimes when we are so eager to get out what we want to say in defense, you're not even hearing the judge.
Sure. You can't wait till you finish the talk. And I'm gonna say to you, forgive you for those.
You forgive me for those times because we both contribute to the disconnect.
Absolutely.
But
Anybody out there, I'm gonna say this too.
tell somebody.
Forgive me for defending without listening. Forgive me if I've wronged you in any way. You know, I really charge it, as they say, to my head and not my heart.
If we get old.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess you're the jokes of the day, right? Okay.
So,
Wow. Humor. Go ahead.
So,
Gotcha.
moving the
Go
next step, the
Go
first
ahead.
step would be
Yeah.
decide where you're gonna go from here.
Yeah.
Decide for the future. How are we going to grow from this?
Right. Yeah. What's the relationship? What does it look like from this point on? Okay. You keep you'll keep your distance. You ain't calling me no. Is that what it's gonna be? Or are we gonna try to let's approach this thing in a godly way?
Yeah.
For once, because all that not talking, all of that not calling, all of that distance, all of that we create chaos. Then all of that stuff ought to go out the window. We got to start demonstrating the love of God. Though we claim, oh, I'm Christian, I'm following the Lord, but we look at our life situations and see where we are, and they don't exemplify the love of God at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And lastly, what we just did really is we have to forgive, even if
What somebody don't ask.
right. Even if somebody don't even ask,
Right.
you have to forgive.
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
If you don't get an apology from someone, forgive. It's just what? It's gonna hurt you more than them. They ain't even thinking about it. No more.
Right. They probably sleeping at night,
Mhm.
and they probably not even tossing and turning. So the thing about it, again, when it comes down to forgiveness, we ought to be to a point, because if you remember, the Lord's prayers we know in the book of Matthew and Luke, when they ask, Lord, how should we pray? And that prayer says, forgive us our debts or our sins or our trespasses as we forgive others.
Yeah.
So if you don't forgive others, then you're asking God don't forgive you.
Yeah.
So think about it.
So
Okay.
I think that's just, now we want to share some real solutions.
Let's talk about solutions. Yes, right.
Solutions.
Wait a
As
second.
we have said over and over, we will continue to say this.
Right.
You gotta pray before making any moves.
You
gotta
to pray.
before making any moves. And
Can't not
sometimes
get
that
away.
devil be
Yeah.
standing right in the middle
Mhm.
to break you all from praying.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But somebody gotta acknowledge it. You just can't walk away from it and just let it fester. So you have to pray before
Mhm.
making any moves.
Okay. And even with that, some people, I know sometimes you write things down or journal or whatever. Sometimes even that, because and hopefully with the journaling, we can look back and just say, okay, I remember the situation, and then we don't find ourselves repeating that situation. Another we constantly we talk about is that seek counseling, and not just counseling or someone to mediate, a person that has at least some godly wisdom. Don't just go to any and everybody, because everybody that calls themselves a counselor is not God's counselor. Okay, and some of these people have you so so dizzy and drunk when it's over with. So please, godly counselor.
Yeah, so when you know the foundation of why you're going to someone, you got the foundation, you got God, then you should be able to discern if somebody's giving you something that ain't godly advice.
Right.
Next thing is, set healthy boundaries. Really get the right certain things down. Like I try to kind of do better about writing things down so I can prioritize and set those boundaries of where I should and shouldn't go. I know I'm testing somebody if I'm picking or if I'm annoying and if I'm doing certain things. Set those boundaries.
Yes, right, definitely. And with that too, it's just like whatever your hurt or the broken part of your relationship, if that's abuse or whatever, you would not want to find yourself in the situation with the abuser. And I'm saying to try to reach resolution or reconciliation, you wouldn't want to do it. So you have to set the boundaries, not to leave yourself vulnerable or anything, because with that, even in trying to resolve issues, you have to be careful. You have to be wise in that too. Don't put yourself back in the vulnerable place. So be careful with that. Sometimes it may take a third party or to mediate or to be there. And sometimes that could be law enforcement, so I'm just saying there, or someone there, to kind of help. Say we want to resolve an issue. And so, okay, go ahead.
Prayerfully, you won't have to get to that.
Hopefully not. Yes, right.
But, of course, knowing that's an option. But, and lastly, choose peace. I got to win this thing. I'm the right one. I'm the one that's got the right answer. Choose peace before choosing to win over it.
Can we all win though? Can we all be winners? And that's the thing. Seek win-win situations, not one-sided winnings, please. Yes.
So just real quick, write them down, y'all, so we can all reflect back on them. One solution is pray. Pray before making any moves, even if you have to journal it. 2, seek counseling, godly counseling or mediation if necessary. 3, set healthy boundaries.
Right? They keep you safe.
I am 4, choose peace over winning.
Right. Win-win situations.
Yeah, that helps every time.
Okay, so now the preface or the bottom line, all this, we want a biblical foundation in what we're saying. So we want to share scripture with you with Romans, the 12th chapter, 18th verse, which is said, as much as it depends on you, live at peace with all men. And that's the thing. So you got a part to play.
Yes, absolutely. It's so imperative that we really set that boundary among those differences that you have and realize that you could be a problem. And if you are, acknowledge it. First, know, and mean it. Mean it. So, what is a final thought on this that you would say?
Okay. Again, we know that broken relationships do exist in family. So the thing is, let's work to fix it. First of all, okay, redefine the issue if you need to. If the issue is plain, then it's plain. Because if I abuse you, I can't say, forgive me for that thing. No, forgive me for the thing that I've done. Or release it if it's a minute issue. Let it go. Again,
Yeah, so don't stay broken.
Don't stay in the broken
Stay
place.
broken.
Right. Mhm.
So our last thing that we want you to think about, because like I say, we have all of our stuff, right?
Mhm.
Who do you need to resolve some brokenness with today,
Today.
right now?
Who is
today?
it?
You know,
Who is it?
acknowledge that. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know for
Mhm.
you.
Right.
I know my own personal journey.
Mhm.
I know my own struggles of who I would need to do and speak to, and maybe you need to acknowledge that too.
Yes. Right. Definitely.
You know,
And we encourage you again, break the generational curses,
Yeah.
things that don't let them continue for another generation and one after that. It's time to break it. It's time to do that now. And I call to all fathers, all men out there, because again, our community, that's where we are, and we have an issue there that our men sometimes we don't stand up like we ought to, and lead like we ought to, and teach our sons and daughters like we ought to, and show them the examples that they need. Okay? And I'm calling right now our brothers out, and I'm saying, hey man, do it. Do it. Stand.
Yeah.
Right?
From a woman's standpoint, our sisters, our mothers, come on, our girls, you do the same. Acknowledge it. Be humble enough to say, I was wrong. Have peace over it. Talk about it. Get through it. We can do this. We don't want to think that life is going to still be there for you to resolve it tomorrow. You know, I always say, I'll be with you tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't promised. Resolve it today. Who all you have some issues with, resolve it today. If it's daughters with mothers, if it's mothers with sons, if it's mothers or fathers or whoever with colleagues or friends, resolve it.
Yes.
And we can move forward, even if you will take your apology. Release that from you so you can live in peace.
Life is too short
It is.
to be low. Life is too short to be low. So, you don't know where your termination date is? I don't know what mine. Let's get it done today. Work on it.
Yeah.
Right, pray about it. Get it done.
Yeah. So, we thank you so much for joining us for this Thursday's dose.
Yes.
Stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell so you will hear more gems like this.
When we come out with new content. And the thing about, and don't forget our 40th celebration, our anniversary celebration coming up September 6th, 5 to 7 on Zoom.
And it's free.
It's free. We want you at the virtual place. Want to see your face. We got some things for you.
Yeah.
Want to see it?
It's free.
Free.
It's full of fun, packed full information, and just having a good time. We invested in you.
Yes.
So we want you to join our community. And again, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
Hit that bell and come on into the community.
Yeah, definitely. Come on. We want to change the world one relationship, one marriage at a time.
Yeah. So until next time,
Hey, just keeping it real with Charles and
Melendia.
Yep. Peace out. We love you.
Bye.